We're not in a particularly happy place economically. There's slowdown around the globe. Europe is looking like it's struggling. Does that mean that there's less work to do? Does that mean that there's more talent in the market? Are we still facing the same kind of talent shortages?
Singapore is quite lucky in that it does have generally a relatively deep talent pool when it comes to accountancy and finance. We find that the universities are producing a lot of talented accountancy and finance students who then go into the Big Four. So that combined with the international talent pool here in Singapore does mean that it is generally a deep talent pool. Having said that, there are still some very skill-short areas within accountancy and finance. Treasury, liquidity, capital adequacy, corporate governance, internal audit, risk, compliance, these kind of areas. Anything that's cost-focused is very much in demand. So it's these niche skill sets where there is a genuine war to attract talent. We're finding that they're speeding up the recruitment process. So if they identify a candidate that they like, then as opposed to shopping around, interviewing 5 or 6 other candidates in the market, it's a good idea to move quickly on these candidates. So we're finding that is one thing. Another thing that we're finding is that they are concentrating a lot more on developing and training and retaining their own people. One of the new focuses in the region is there's a much bigger demand for temporary recruitment. So it gives you a more fluid workforce, it's more flexible.
Really, I think the key is getting the right type of people to fit your organization. And in our case, I do see a lot of candidates writing in without, periodically, and I always constantly interview candidates regardless of whether I need them or not. The piece that I find very challenging is to find candidates who can do the client-facing piece of the business, who not only manage the books, they sit in the client sites and they also have to interact frequently with the clients. Those kind of talent tend to be more difficult.
Seeing now more and more, it is not the money, it is the experience is what matters to the youngsters and even for us, any one of us. Beyond a level, money is not going to motivate any of us. If the profile of the learning environment, if it is very good, job knowledge, and conducive atmosphere, there are people who are ready to stick around. Even the young generation, which I thought that they will be, restless and they cannot stick around on one job, especially a job like accountant sitting on a desk and doing it, I am completely astonished with the kind of commitment. When they negotiate on the job interview, it could be money. Of course, they are all smart people, so they will get the best they can negotiate. But retaining them, the first and foremost is the job knowledge and how we are going to equip them to be a better professional.
The accountants, the financial professional, I don't think it's really the hygiene factor like money. That's important. But at the end of the day, it's really whether they can contribute, whether our organization can basically be a career launcher for them, whether it's, you can add on to the professional development. I think those are really important. And all those SQP or that will definitely help to move them in the right direction.
What we are seeing is that there's definitely been some tightening there at the more junior level. So, it's they're encouraging us, rightly so, I think, to try and place local Singaporeans into the market there. But at the more senior end, at the more mid-level end, we're seeing a lot of opportunities there for people coming in abroad. What is becoming a barrier to them is costs. A couple of years ago, most of the organizations in Singapore, particularly within banking, were extremely happy to consider candidates from overseas locations. Full relocation benefits were there, but what we are seeing at the moment is there's pushback on that because employers they believe that they're holding all the cards. They believe that Singapore is a very desirable location, and a lot of guys from the economies that are having a difficult time at the moment are very keen to come to Singapore, so they believe that they're willing to pay their own relocation.
I do see a trend is that I get a lot more foreign talent writing in, particularly from countries like UK, in the European countries, and a lot of them from India as well. Of course, culturally, whether they could fit into an organization is one, but I'm not averse to having different nationalities just to provide diversity.
Brand and reputation is absolutely crucial, especially in a small market like Singapore. One of the major clients that we deal with when I first arrived was, I'm not going to name it, but at the time it was considered the best payer, it had great bonuses, it had a fantastic reputation. 5 years down the line, it's now very, very difficult to recruit for this organisation because Singapore is, as I say, it's a small market, everybody talks, that they've not been benchmarking salaries correctly, their bonuses have dwindled. And it's now a totally different story. It's about trying to pitch yourself as an employer of choice. If you have the reputation of being a good employer in the market, then people are going to want to join you.